So I'm just trying to see who's on before I say anything. So it's pretty quiet here, right? I'm not sure who's here. I don't know if you're new here, if this is your first time, if you know actually what I do, or if you're here wasting your time, right? We all want to find a good channel. I usually like to wait a few minutes before I say anything at all, but I don't mind if you ask me any questions now that I can see the screen. I was just on two different channels and was thrown off of both of them. I asked them what they wanted to talk about. They had mentioned something. I answered their question, and then they laughed at the way I came to my answer. So that was one channel. The second channel, they thought it was a conspiracy that we all seem to agree with what numbers do. And one gentleman, which has been on three of these channels before, anything I say, he's always against it. Anyways, he's telling me, you got to stop with the numbers, stop with the numbers, stop with the numbers, give your head a break. If he doesn't realize that the only reason I'm on TikTok is to play with the numbers. And when I get off of TikTok, I give everything a break. All of this just disappears from my mind. I don't even see it. It's like it's not even here. I don't recognize it's here. Why should I give it any attention? You might give it attention, right? But I give it no attention at all. I don't let it get into my head. I don't let it bother me. I've been bothered before. In fact, on this channel before I wanted to speak my piece, they were talking about, yeah, people are sad and they're pumping people with all these little helpers and stuff like that. And, and I'm like saying to myself, does anybody really know what a sad person is, or somebody who has some kind of disorder? I says, you can't possibly know it unless you lived it. Since I lived my fair share, whether I caused them by myself or caused by another or caused by the system, whichever way it was, guess what? First time remembering I'm on planet Earth. Like I don't really remember. You would say, "Oh, you're kooky if you think you were here before. You got to be some nutcase to believe in reincarnation, right?" But I have my own rendition of my reality because of how I measured the algorithms of the concrete and my own algorithms that I have lived with. I have looked at the understanding of how somebody reads the algorithm of somebody's life path, which means those who study the astrological signs and say, well, Venus is like this, and this is a tendency, and this planet is like this is a tendency. Where do they get these answers from? It's an algorithm from who, and who's doing this collecting? That I'd like to know. Well, once you have that algorithm for that period in the year, well, if you happen to be born in that period of time, you become part of that algorithm. Number two, you also become part of the survey algorithm, which means over time you pick up on all the number ones. What happens on the first day of the month? Look at this over a period of time. What happens on the second day of month? 365 years, 365 days that go around. What happens on every day over the year and questions. So that's another way they pick up on it. I mean, you just can't, you can learn it, but there's a lot to learn, right? I don't really know that, but I do understand that in order to understand the life path and all of this, you have to understand your rotation of A, D, G, J, in which J, right? I don't even want to say J because J was not here. In fact, in the time of Aquarius, right, when they connected the 10th zodiac sign to Aquarius, that was with A, but the 10th letter is a J. And in the deck of cards, they use J as the 11th card, and they put the T as the 10th card. I'm trying to figure out, why would they put the T? Why would they call number 10 T and put it the 10th card when T is 20? You know, even when you, okay, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. I'm just jumping through my head right now. Sunday night after midnight. Isn't this about the time? Like, you know where I'd like to go? There's this channel, George Noory, you know, after midnight. I'd like to go on that channel and talk to them. Like, I think they talk about UFO. Do you know the letters UFO are 21/3 F6015/6, like 366. So where was I? Yes, in the last video that they threw me off when he says, what is number 137? You know what? I've done this before. Now, I don't know if 137 means 1 through 36 and 1. I don't know if 13 and 7 is talking about the Mayan calendar. I don't know if 12 and 7 could be talking about the 7 days a week for the 12 months out of the year, that the 713 would be the 13 moons and the 7 days a week. 7 by 12 is 84. The 84th day is the end of the third moon. 7 by 13, the 91st day is the end of the calculation, okay, between 1 and 13, the first 13 letters of the alphabet. Okay, the first 13 of the alphabet, it equals to 91. The average, okay, of the 13 equals to 7. When you take the 13, you will count 6, 1, 6. Or what you can say in the spirit of 76, because the 1 in the center to the 6 there, and the 1 in the center to the 6 there will be 7 of 6, and then 7 of 6, 67, 76. That word is water. The word will equal to sky pass. It will equal to 42 and 13, equaling to the 55 reason for sky pass. And it's going to be the Sun IT system sky pass, which is going to be power from system 5. Now, is the 5 the sun and reflecting in the ocean? The sun is 54, equaling to 9. The ocean, area 5, which connects the fire between 9, 1, and 5, the 3 fire signs, right? The ocean is number 5. The thing is that 5 and 9 are like back doors to each other. Here's the 9, and then here's the 5 on the other side. And then you have the, and then you have these 6 and 3, and the 1 and 4. I'm just trying to see that I stay on track, because sometimes I go off all over the place, although I might know what I'm talking about. I don't want to, you know what, usually I write down everything that I say. Wow. Yeah, I was talking about the 137, the 127. So, I mean, oh, my camera's the wrong way. Three times 4, 3 plus 4 equals to 12 and 7. If I add it, it's 19. If I minus it, equals to 5. The E-world between 5 and 19. The corridor is between 3 and 4. There's a corridor between 3 and 4. There's a corridor between 2 and 5. But when there's a corridor between 2 and 5, this hits the power of the ocean. It's 9 and 3 to create 12. It's 9 and 4 to create 13. The masculine and the feminine, 9 and 4, 13, 9 and 3, 12. Do I make up some of these situations? Yes, I do. Do I make them up with reason? Yes, I do. Why didn't I use all 3? Can I use all 3? Yes, I can. But I don't. I'll use 1 and 2 to the left, 2 and 7 to the right. I'll use 1 and 7, then I'll use all 3 of them. But in this situation, I'm going 12 and 0.7 and 13 and 0.7, because I've seen this before. This will be the 364th day. This will be the 336th day. This will be the end of the first 12 moons. This will be the end of 13 moons. This will be the end of the year. But the female year ends over here. Add one more to the 13. We're the 13th one. We're the 7th day. According to this, hello, August. Peace. You know, I join lives. They don't even, people that are awake do not even give you 5 minutes to try and understand you. They laugh at you. And instead of saying thank you, and I give them the opportunity before I begin to say, I understand this is something new to many. Let me speak my piece. And they just throw you off. But you know what? I have to say this. I don't, do I have to hold it in? Do I have to say it? It is what it is, you know? That's my big term, you know? It is what it is. Oh, God. The fine line of zero. Has anybody ever seen a fine line of zero? When you split nothing in half, what happens when you split nothing in half? Would I be okay to say I would have half and half? So if I have half and half, right? If I have half and half, I'd have 0.5 and 0.5. But what if I took out a sliver from these two and I sliced a 0.5 area here and a 0.5 area here? Right? And then I rejoin each side. So I'd have 4.5, 4.5, 45 minutes of REM sleep. Maybe I'd drill a hole in the center. I don't know. I'm just thinking of something, trying to get the value of 9 out of a circle. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to connect it is to connect each side of the circle, the extreme here and the extreme here of the circle to equal to 10. I've heard there was talk about this name over here, right? 3 times 4, 3 plus 4. The doorway between one side to the other, the halfway area, right? The soul in the E world, right? Inside the breath. From 1 through 9, spirit, ma, right? From 1 through 9, spirit. This is going to be a representation of 500, also the half-life. Okay, this would be the heaven's birth, right? Just like you and me. 2 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 2. Right? This is what building the bricks look like. This also says queen within the word. D-A-M-E. Right? It's just talking about the queen, the high queen. That's what I see in it. If you want to understand the basics of the lower house to the upper house, right? The lower house is A, B, C, D. 4 numbers. 4 numbers. That's it. It all ends here. It's A, B, C, D, E, D, C, B, A. But what replaces A is I. Now, how can A be replaced with I in numbers, but in the alphabet, when you reverse it, it gets replaced with H, 8. So what do we do in this instance? What am I supposed to do? I really never looked at it. I have to find reason for it. I have to think about it a little bit. One of the things is in an area of 9, when you have an area of 9, you will have one area occupation in the heart of 9. And when you join the center heart area, it will equal to 10. Five is the heart position. There are 8 areas that surround it. There are a total of 9. If we all come in to join this way, right, and have a link through 5, we'd have 9 and 1 equals to 10. Right? But I don't want to join anything yet. I just want to show you there's 9. I want to show you we can have 4 areas on top. I can have 4 areas on the bottom. And what joins them all? This area over here. There are different equations that are going on with this. Here, these 4 areas are equal to a total of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 equals to 10. This is my base model 10. My first model is 1, then it's 3, then it's 6, then it's 10. 1 plus 0 equals to 1. We start over again after the 4th year. Look at that. We came back to the beginning. You see, in this one, in the Trinity, we start over after the 3rd year. When we get the 4 A, B, C, D in a row, right? And then we're going to put, I'm going to show you this equation after I do this. Let me just write it out. This is a time equation. It's going to go along with the zodiac signs for every hour of the day, but right now I'm just going to show you in blank. See, in the top one, we run by 20 minutes. In the bottom one, we run by 15 minutes. Here, it's a movement of 4. Here, it's a movement of 3. These two eventually have to match up. And they match up here, right? They match up at 6 o'clock. They match up at 6 and 7 o'clock. But here it's 6:40, here it's 6:45, here it's 5:40, here it's 5:45. So they don't match up until they get to over here. Not sure if you understood that part. I started to think something else. I'm just getting a little tired, so there was something else I wanted to mention in this between the 3 and the 4. Before anything can actually happen, okay, we come to a corridor. That corridor is 3 and 4, 7. The reverse corridor in the upper world is 7 and 6, 13. 3 and 4, 7, 7 and 6, 13. Why do we get from 3 and 4 to 7 and 6, and why not 8? The 6, okay, once you get to 7, the conversion of 6 on the reverse side of the cube is 8. What's the difference between the 6 and the 7? The 7 is when you bring in, how can I say it? When you go up a level and skip over to the ocean, you must add 1. Adding in the ocean, only one side will skip over into the ocean and leave the connection still to the 6. And when you go ahead and look in the deck of cards and look at the 6, 7, and 8, the 6 won't show any center hearts. In this game of 3 and 4, I like to use in my game. This has nothing to do with the real world. This has to do with what's going on here. I'm creating a game. And in this game, I use real numbers, real alphabets, real language. I play with it, okay, until the algorithm can make sense. It's logical. It doesn't mean it happened outside in this world. It cannot be impossible if the math works. If the stories are already working in piano, why can't I use it with the alphabet? If I already have the 7 days a week, why can't I use that as my algorithm? Imagine if I counted to 7 but only put 6 per line. Imagine if I counted to 7 and only put 5 per line. Imagine if I counted to 7 and put 4 per line. Imagine I counted to 7, put 3 per line. Imagine I counted to 7, put 2 per line. Imagine I counted to 8 and put 7 per line or 9 per line. Okay, I'm not sure if you're following with this, but each one of these things I told you will create different averages at the end of each line. It's like, I'm going to just do one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted to count to number 5, but I only wanted to have 4 per line. I will have to do this with every single number, right? And then I will be able to find out how each one conjunctions with each other, each other's algorithms. So somewhere in some computer system, they can slip all this together. So it's got to be easily to figure out with this pen. If it's as easy to figure out with this pen, then the computers can easily do it. So the first one equals to 10. This equals to 11. This equals to 12. This equals to 13. This is 15. This equals to 14. This equals to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So that's that basic algorithm. When counting to 4s, when it's 5. What does it do? I don't know what everything does, right? I don't know what everything does. I really, really don't. I have to look a little bit deeper to the end result. This one over here, we would count this one in the game of hockey, right? These would be 15 minutes, right? This would be football. But we can also do this, right, at 12 minutes as well. We can go 5:12 and 5:24, and then 5:36, and then 5:48, and then 5:60. 1, 2, 3, how many was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So that would be 5 parts of 12. So would we be talking now 5 and 12? I like this. When 5 and 12 come together, I really like that. 512 memory, right? 256, 512. 256, is that 128? Is that 64? Is that 32, 16, 8? That's the window of Mars. That brings up purple. I'm going to explain to you why. I think it's 4 cube equals 64, right? 512 memory, 51 Mars, 52 Earth. When 1 and 2 come together, that's when, if we're running memory, we got to be running through these moons. That's where 1 and 2 come in, because 1 and 2 are singularity. 1 and 2 go along with 7 and 8. And the reverse of that is going to be 6, 5, 3, 4, 15, 7, 3, 11. Okay. The end result of this in the game of pool, right? This will be the 7 ball reflecting the 15 ball. I don't know if it has any meaning. Here's how it goes. 1 and 2, right? When you have 1, you get 8. When you have 2, you get 7. When you get 7, you get 2. So the reverse of 1 is 6. When you have 6, you get 3. When you have 5, reverse of 2, you get 4. When you have 1 and 2, you have 5 and 6. 3 and 6 is 9. 4 and 5 is 9. 3 and 4 is 7. When you have 1 and 2, 7 and 2 is 9, 8 and 1 is 9, 7 and 8 is 15. 1 times 7, 1 plus 7, the white wolf. 1 times 5, 1 plus 5, 6 and 5. Your 3 and 11 in pool are both the red ball. 1 and 1 is 2. Don't reduce the 11. Right? Is that what they say? Don't reduce the 11. They call this partly the student. Yo, 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 yo. You know, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, trying to jump in, and they're talking exactly what they should be talking about. And I just want to give them a little bit of, what do you call it? A little bit of meat on their truth. I want to boost them up, and they turn around and they just don't even give you 2 minutes to explain that. You see, I do not believe that we have everything is, it's not, what do you call it? It's not linear, creation is levels. And in order to make something strong is you go up, you move one over, you go up, you move one over, you go up, you move one over, you go up, or you move two over. I know that in the game of chess, there's one of the men, they go one over and two up, or one over and two up, or two over and one up. It just so happens that in order to move around the power system, that's what we must do. One over, two up, one over, two up. And I'm going to be taking a 1 minute break, putting on a song. I don't know who's going to like this. I'm not sure what song you want to hear. If you want to hear about the tax man, if you want to hear about Man in the Middle, or anything else, I don't know. But I do need a 1 minute break, just so I can I don't know, just whatever it is. Let me see which ones I can get here. Oh yeah, okay. Which one? Oh, I like this. This is fun. This is fun. Let me see if I can get this here. By the way, this is my phone stand. Like above is below, right? Like above is below.
Here's a rough draft of your song, blending your thoughts into a rhythmic and lyrical form. What do I want to know? Tick tock, the clock never stops. Telling me to send hearts, telling me to drop, telling me to share, telling me to sign. Every word checked like the tame in my mind. Was it like this 80 years ago? New words, new rules, what do we really know? History whispers, but does it repeat? Or are we just numbers marching to the beat? What do I want to know? Who's pulling the strings? Is it the church, the state, or the kings? Are we just cogs in a system so grand? Or architects shaping the lay of the land? 3 by 3 time turns in its dance. The zodiac shifts, is it fate or just chance? The chicken lays eggs, the cycle repeats. Numbers and patterns beneath all our feet. Am I old or just wide awake? Are my thoughts too deep or is this all fake? I've heard stories, I've seen the signs. But tell me, have you opened your mind? What do I want to know? Who's pulling the strings? Is it the church, the state, or the kings? Are we just cogs in a system so grand? Or architects shaping the lay of the land? Hi, I'm Mr. Topaz, here to explore anomalies, questions, and so much more. So tell me now what's on your mind. Let's write the song of the undefined. Now for the visual representation, I'll generate.
Okay, I am back. I'm back. Getting a little weary over here. Let me see the comments over here as I go along. I want to try and keep up with everybody. This is very intricate. It's a web. It's a complete web. You have to go all over the place. It joins every aspect of life. Anything to do at any time in history. I don't know how it's going to, if you ask me right now what it is, if you mention something, I'm going to make some numerical finding, which is going to be something simple. But when we go to something where there's more dynamics to it, who's studying this? You know what I'm saying? If you go to things that are basic, like the word Mona Lisa, just within inside the word, it says the NASA is the limo. If you want to talk about 3, 6, and 9, well, everything converges into 3 and 6, and 3 and 6 is base creation of 99. And with 9, where most people think 9 is what? What is 9? What is 10? Right? The counting, how can I say this? Because there's a few ways to do it. And it's one of the ways is new, so I don't really want to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. Only what I want you to keep here are these 3 over here and one of them over here. Just 4 areas. That's all you really need, are those 4 areas. That'll create 10, right? But where are you now? Where are you now? You need to create and connect to your upper realm, right? This is the connection to your upper realm over here. This is the heart. But see this one over here? It comes with this one over here. This one overlays, this one overlays, this one overlays, and this one overlays. Rubik's Cube. If you look at this as Rubik's Cube, the area space of Rubik's Cube is this 9 area spaces here. 9 area spaces of Rubik's Cube. The same thing, this is miniature. The 4 dots are the 4 corners, right? The 4 dots is where it all begins. Before that, 3 is your corridor. Between 3 and 4, that is your 7. When you connect these, you connect 1 over to 6. You connect 2 over to 5. So what's in between? 3 and 4. You have 3, 12, 21, 30, equaling to a total of 66, equaling to a total of 70, equaling to 136, the 2 of them together. If I add number 158 and number 678, it'll equal 136. If I equal number 574 and number 262, it'll equal to 136. 136, 136, 136, 408. Not really sure what that means other than 48 or 84 is the 3 cycles of the moon. 48 represents the trinity of the 1/3 of the part male father and the 2/3 of the 2 parts mother of the 16 hours of day and the 8 hours of night, equaling to the 24, 3 by 8, 24, other than what is the 4 by 6, 24. The 4 by 6, 24 will be what is 4 by 9 or 4 by 90 equals to 360 to what is 3 by 120 equaling to 360. So we have to go 3 by 4, 4 by 3. What's happening here is this is not good. Tetrahedron shows us that we need to have 720. Right? If we're trying to figure out where's number 1, what is whole? Is 1 whole or is 1 half? Right? Because if we had 1 whole, we would we be going 1, 2, 3? Because according to numbers, is it something that is half of a cell that is whole? See these squares over here? When I count on this angle, on the 45 angle, I get 1 here, I get 2 here, I get 3 here. The 2 cut everything in half. The 3 cut everything in half. Everything is half. Here, there's a separation. This would be where the hourglass would show up between here and here over here. This is where that heart of the hourglass would show up. So the more I expand, the more hourglasses that will show up. When I'm talking, okay, above and below, top and down, one dot, 3 dots, one line, 3 lines. You can also go 2, 4, because the 2 dots connect the 1 line, the 4 dots connect the 3 lines. Here we count by 2s, here we count by 1s. This is Queens County. What do I mean by Queens County? The queen has all 8 eyes. The queen, the Q letter, is also number 17. Number 17 is a number that repeats itself, okay, and will fabricate what is 7 and 8. 7 and 8 is a number that is soul. It is alone. 1 and 2 are alone. They are what come together to fabricate. 1 between 2 and explode into 3. 3 has a corridor, right? Are we counting from 20 down to 1 or 1 up to 20? The more I look at it, there's one that counts up. There's another one that counts down. What is it about 20? What is it about 20? Does anybody think about 20? Has anybody ever thought about 20? I mean, I can go after any single number, okay? Any number, it doesn't matter. Millions and billions of years, extinct animals, it doesn't matter. And it's not me talking anyways. It's what we were taught. That's what's talking. If I'm telling you I'm adding something to the story, I'll tell you I'm adding something to the story and what my reason is for it. But nothing I speak hasn't been spoken before. It's all been spoken before. Just for you, you haven't seen it before, possibly. And what am I talking about? And I'm very incomplete. I will tell you that. I'm very incomplete. Like if you tell me like the word million, the first thing I'm going to look at is the letter M and 1, right? And for me, that's 22, and that's 1/4 of the constellations. It's also the 13th letter, the 13th moon, the one that connects the 66, the left side with the right side. You know, left L, 12th letter, right R, 18th letter. You know how ironic that so many things and too many things match up. The left side, 147, 12 L, 369, 18 R, the left side and the right side. The difference, 1.20 is the difference. 5 times 1.20 equals to 1 minus plus 5 and 6. 1.25, 1.25, 12 times 1.25, 12 times 1.50, moving 7 over to 258 over to 369. The 12, the 15, and the 18. But I can move them all over. You want to see me move them all over? Take 9, put it in the 8 position. No, sorry. Take 9, put it in the 2 position. Take 1, put it in the 8 position. In the 1 position, put 4. And in the 3 position, put 2. In the 4 position, put 3. In the 6 position, put 7. In the 7 position, put 8. And in the 9 position, put 6. And everything will say 15. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we can do it together. How do I turn this upside down? So yeah, we're going to go over all this after. And this too, I'll go back to that. So this is what it is. Usually you see this, right? And this is where my 12, 15, and 18 come in. And all these all equal to 15 by 4 equals to 60. I'm going to tell you that when I do this, there's only one of a kind. But if I only use these 3 lines, okay, and these 3 lines, or these 3 lines, and these 3 lines, I'll have 3 more. Each one of them will be 45. But when I get all of these, I get to 180. So what am I going to do? A, B, C, D. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do A, B, C, A, B, D, A, C, D, B, C, D, and these will be all my combinations. and each one of them will be 135, 135, 135, 135. Right? And then I'll go ahead and I'll do that again. Split, 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 split. Those are the letters, right? Well, the split is also at 13.5, which is the heart of the moon. 13.5 splits the letters M and N, right? Also noted to be 1 and 1 in gematria, right? It's counting A all the way to M, 91, and N all the way to Z, okay, 260. 7 by 13 equals to 91. 20 by 13, okay, equals to 260. The total is 351, ACE. $117. $63 and 54, $117. We're going to get onto these cubes. I'm turning this camera around. I mean, there's 1,000 stories, so let me see how to turn this around. Flip the camera. Yeah, I was also on the Commander show tonight. He let me come up for 3 minutes. I mean, I'm only there to reinforce the show or reinforce what somebody says, you know, or to help them have a different way of seeing the same reality, to understand it, that it can be seen at other viewpoints. And I'm sorry to say, I'm going to be honest, right? And I don't know if I'm a narcissist by talking the way I do in any way. I mean, I don't even know if it fits, but there's very few well-rounded channels out there. I will tell you that. That when I say that, I'm talking about that stick to a certain entity of a subject in order, you know what I'm saying? That when there's a discussion, the minute there's a discussion, it's like this big competition in most of them. So anyways, I'm not, maybe I'm just trying to boost myself up over here. How about the word church is number 61. The reverse of the 61 is 16. The 16 and 19, they invert between the lower world and the upper world. 16, 1 and 6 are the 3 gateways, and also the C and H coming together are the gateways. I'll explain that to you. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6, 6 and 7 is your first 13. So you become part of the steeple. The C3 and the H8, where the pull of the Father equals to 7. I'm just trying to see that the word, okay, I have to look at the word, right? This is my 7, right? At the same time, it is my 11. Where is my 11? This cube, in this game I play, there are 2 cubes. One has 4 dots, one has 9 dots. Since this one here is 3 to the left and 3 to the right, whoop, it has 3 above and 3 below. Therefore, it automatically has 3 in the center. If there's 3, 3, 3, it's 9. I don't have to show you the other sides. Is this square? If this is square and there's 9 on this side, there has to be 9 on all the sides. This is the story. True or false? This is my game. This is the way I call it. So then I go ahead and look for a little reference and I say, what about the 9 here? What about the 9 here? What about the 9 on my telephone, the 9 on my keyboard, the 9 at the ATM? I didn't create any of this. I didn't create anything. I'm just showing you how all these dots connect, and then I read to you the story from their connection. It's that simple. I have a teeny little picture, but it doesn't look half as good as my bigger one where, you know, you ever hear the expression blockhead, where there's a block in the center over here. And when you look at to that side, it can look like there can be a cap on top of it, a chin on the bottom. Why was I? Oh, yes, it's supposed to be part of a cube that's in the center. It also looks like two hearts. It can also look like two books. It can also be noted, if I drew this properly, as the spade, the club, or upside down, right? You know the heart? See the heart over here? I should just show you the original. Otherwise, I don't look good. I don't look good. Don't like that I just did that out of nowhere. It's 1:25. Just to let you know that when it is the hour and 17th minute, that's going to be the 17th minute. Okay, I'm going to show you this picture real quick, in and out. I want to remember that number. There are so many teeny weeny stories that create a big picture. Oh, here it is. This is what I was speaking about. See the square that's inside of it? And see what I was sort of showing? But they're not the same. These are not the same. They're not the same. See, in this one over here, what happens is, you see the finishing line? I can't stop until I come to a point. You see these cells? I'm not allowed to stop until I come to that point. I have to have the exact math, the exact measurements. So it dictates that. When that happens, and this happens, this gap happens, that shows me that this X area space is chopping this area space, the one cell, okay, into 4 area spaces, meaning everything there can join the fluids. And it happens here. You can see it over here, the way the block chops it up. See if I flip it, I think if I flip it upside down, yeah, I can't flip it, right? Maybe let me see, if I open it bigger, maybe it won't flip. No, it's still going to flip. If I go to share it, will it flip? No, it still flips. Whoa. If I go to edit it, okay, will it flip now? No, it won't flip now. So you can see over here that there's a 7, and that can be a D, because I can create this with a D. So you have like 70, 70. You also have inside of here the R letter. But then when you block out this R and you put this in the bottom, you have another R letter here. So you have more or less a few R's that go up and down. And if you look close, it's like a bunny rabbit. So they join the house. It's not the quarterly house. It's the house of dimensions, right? It's not 4, it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In order for 1 to get over to 2, I have to go 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, and then boom, 2, right? When I get the 2 within the same count, for instance, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2 plus 0 is 2. I went up 1 rung in the house of 2. So this is what it is. I like to call it Abraham's house. You have the left side, you have the right side of the house. I like to call it Abraham and Isaac. Ishmael is running, right? The beaver, you know where the G is? You know where the G is? Well, I like to look at the G. The G and E is over here. Or the G is in the sky, the E is in the bottom. But whatever it is, the beaver goes underneath the ground and goes between the 2 houses. This is how I designed this. And both houses are a replica, but only one of them holds the heart. Right. Here's the one that joins. See this one over here? It makes an R going this way. It makes an R going this way. And when you take your protractor and you put it down on this is not what you will create. Unless you create all this design, you'd have to put your protractor right over here. But when you're putting down a protractor in this house, you will end up with 4 circles. You will end up with fish. You will end with the fish. Why will you end up with the fish? This is one house. This is another house. Call this one Earth. Call this one Mars. What is the difference? The difference is this. With this over here, the single dot in the center, I put my protractor down, I went around it, I boxed it in. This one over here was this one over here. But actually, hold on a second. This one over here are these 4 dots here that create this square here that goes inside here that could be done like this or like this. But when putting the protractor around, it looks like this. This is not exact, just to let you know. This is how the difference between these two. I regard this one as the window of Mars. I regard this one as Earth. I look at this one as 22 as a 2x2 area space. Those are the numbers I put with it, right? That's how I classify it right now. I look at this as a 3x3 area space. I also look at this as a 27 area space. And I look at this as an 8 area space. 2x2x2, 3x3x3. The total equals 35. The total equals to the brother. The connection, okay, to the oceans. I like to call it the brother. 3 and 5 connect the electric and the moon. Why does it connect the electric and the moon? The heart of this cube is 3.5 times 8. If I understand correctly, that is equal to 28, which is the moon's cycle. There are 8 parts of the moon's cycle, okay, at 1.5 times the travel time, meaning that 1.5 times the 8 equals to the total of 12 that travel with the zodiac. 3.5 is the heart of this cube, and it is the same corridor as going between 3 and 4. And if we looked at numbers or planets, 3 and 4 is Earth and Mars. So if we did do that, we'd be running a 3-moon system. Mars has 2 moons, Phobos, and Deimos. Phobos and Deimos. Mars equals to 51, area 51, holding the vibration of 432. The basic trinity of creation, okay, of your day of birth is 1,440 minutes for your day. 1,440 minutes times 3 is 4,320. Mary-Ev invites you to co-host with one other creator. I don't really know. Does somebody pick me? Do they ask me? I don't even know what that means when they do that. So when that pops up, I just let me see who's in here. So let me go back. Someone's got to tell me if I'm making any sense because I'm getting really weary out here. Okay, boy. It never hits 10 Tesla states, 369, no double digits. It's just 0 being a filter. There's a lot of things about 0. 0 is an association of numbers. 0, the area space you've just landed on. You're not counting it as anything when you make your departure. When you start off in the game of Monopoly, the area space you stand is counted as 1. Yet when you depart from there, it's the place you arrive. We're not counting it twice. Zodiac signs with the 12 suns. So 480 and 96. Wow. Wow, that's really funny. That's really funny. Check that out. So you have the 12 sons. Where was this piece again? The 12. So when you wrote the 12 sons, the word son equals to 48. So I went 12 times 48 equals to 576. When I just said your vibration is 432, that 432 is derived from 3 days of 1440 minutes. The fourth day equals to 576, and that's the reset. That's when you turn over to the other side, or the fourth part. The fourth part. Okay, it ends the cycle. Okay, but the fourth part is also one cycle and 1/3 cycle. We have to match up the two. The 3 and the 4 have to match up. So when we're working with the Trinity, the fourth part becomes the one extra cycle. Like when I go 1, 2, 3, the fourth part turns everything over again. So now when I do the, just give me a second. The fourth part comes back to the same area in between the above and below. What is the above and below? Cardinal sign. 1 between 1 and 7 is 4. The 4 area between 1 and 7 is not in the same house. 2, 4, 6, 8. 4, okay, which rotates with inside 1, 4, and 7. But the thing about that is it's not just like that. Is as I understand, is this here, it turns. This at one time will be also 2, 6, and 8. This corner, right? The 1 will move up here, the 7 will move over here, the 9 will move down here, the 3 will move here, and it'll keep on rotating. And the inside will keep on rotating. I don't know if they rotate at the same speed, but at the end of it all, these 3 here are cardinal. These 3 here are fixed. These 3 here are mutable. When you take a cardinal and a fixed, a C and an F, a 3 and a 6, when you take a cardinal and a fix, you create 3, 6, and 9. When you take a mutable, okay, you take a mutable and you take a fixed, they remain the fixed sign. For instance, 9 and 5 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5, 5 and 3 is 8. When you take a cardinal sign, right, and you mix it with a mutable sign, it remains the same sign. Whatever you put with a mutable sign will remain the sign that you put it with. But when you mix, okay, when you mix the cardinal with the fix, it becomes a 3, 6, 9. And everything comes from 3 and 6, just like 360 degrees. Half-life creation, 360, based on what is a half-day creation, okay, 720 minutes. Based on 1,440 minutes in a day, 360 minutes, okay, is only 1/4 of the day. Seems like we're being chipped somewhere. Oh, there. Like if you're looking to turn something over in the system, there is something very small we do at home. Whoop! I have to audio. What does it say for the audio? I have to. Whoop! Unable to verify audio. Okay, let me read this. Well, in order to really and truthfully, what is more precise? Can I take a ruler and go from the center of something, measuring out one direction, right? No problem. Very simple. Now, how do you measure out the other way? Or can I take a cord and go all the way around? Can you call that the protractor if I did it that way? And if I did it that way, the minute I begin with something that cuts something in half. And when I get to the other side, I have just finished half of something. Therefore, I cut both sides in half. There's this side and this side of the center of the protractor. So therefore, if they call it the 180-degree plane and the 90-degree, what are we actually splitting? Because if we're making a dome this way and the protractor's going all around this way, well, we're creating a round dome above. Now, if it's above like below, but maybe it's the dome over there, and over there the dome is underneath. But I mean, it's going to be on some twisted angle anyways. Oh my God. Oh no, I'm breaking up here. I'm going to go a little bit longer to explain something over here, what I did. The piano is huge in this, just to let you know. Just I'm going to get back. I'm not sure where I was here. I don't want to open up too many. Do you know what the lottery, the Powerball, can it be equated? I think I'd have to sit down with GG33 and explain to him how part of the zodiac works, right, according to the numbers. And I was working on something today. Hold on a second. And I've seen this 1,000 times. Even soccer, REM sleep. Yeah, so just give me a second here. Yeah, okay, let's do this. If you're talking about zodiac signs, let's say the Chinese zodiac sign. So let's say the regular zodiac signs, whatever it is. Pick number 12. The 12 zodiac sign is Pisces, right? The next time we're going to be in Pisces is going to be 24. Next time we're going to be in Pisces is 36. The next time we're going to be in Pisces is 48. 4 plus 8 equals to 12. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. But when we're in the third realm of Pisces, 36, 3 and 6 equals to 9. So it's the third realm that brings on that birth in Pisces. Do you follow what I'm going? If I was talking about Aries, I would be talking about 1. Then I would be talking about 13. 1 and 3 is 4. Now Aries moved into that fourth position. What's happening? I don't know. But that's what's happening with numbers. Now, that's only one rendition of what would be going on. Now, if I was running the 12-13 cycle, what is the 12-13 cycle? That's between the mixture between the male and the female. And we have to find how they match up, where they match up. I know they match up with, I think it's the 3-4-3 count, or the 1-3-1 count. 1-3-1 equals to 5. 3-1-3 equals to 7. Right? That is going to be the male and the female count. The male is going to be the 13-year-old. The female is going to be the 12-year-old. That's when we change the boy into a man and the girl into a woman in the rendition of those who follow the moon. So this is where I follow what they do to follow the moon, the bar mitzvah and the bat mitzvah. It also happens to be the furthest reflection of alpha beta. What is the furthest reflection of alpha beta? Is where it begins with 1 and 2, A and B. In the first half of the alphabet, it ends with L and M. L and M are 3 and 4, 7, to where it began with 1 and 2, 3. A, B equals to 3, and then we have the L and M equals to 25/7. So it's 3 and 7, 2 air signs. It begins with an air sign and it ends with an air sign. The Gimel and the Gamma for number 7, but in English, it's number 3. The upper world 7 equals to the lower world 3. How did we chop it in half? -1. We chopped it in half -1 because we removed 1 from it. We needed 1 to connect. to the upstairs. 3 and 3 is 6, right? We get 6 when we come down here, and 1 point is the convert. Adam and Eve, the Big Bang that happens within inside of us. 9, 3 times 6, 3 plus 6 equals 9 and 18, 27, reserved for the house, brown money. 18, 1 plus 8 equals to 9. There are only 2 letters in that house, right? In the house of Bait, okay? They retain the I and the R letter. All of everything else, okay, will retain what is the A letter. The heart of the numbers is the A letter. It just so happens that the heart of the cube, the A letter, playing in position 5, known as dot 1, okay, in the 5th position, right? That's what we said, like Area 51. Eight surround this area over here. You know what? Check this out. Who makes the algorithm of advertising right now? Don't answer it. So if we all decide to just shut down this machine and do something else for 5, 6 days or 7 days or even 30 days, we can rock the boat. And you don't have to go anywhere, right? Just don't get on for a week. We all just say, okay, we're not getting on for a week. And then we'll just get back on, like all at one shot, all trying to pick off that certain time of the day. And then maybe leave 2 more hours. Confuse it. It's a machine. Burn out the algorithm. It can't be changed. It's been like this. It's been running like this for the minimum. So let me look through this. I don't ever think the minute you put your breath towards the Powerball for an individual gain, okay, what will that breath get you? I wouldn't even think about it. I don't even want to know. If I'm going to have any fault of fortune, with any fortune I get, I want to have that stake and I want to be sharing it with everybody else, because the only way to complete what I have begun is with everybody else out here. I'm not going to complete this alone. So if anybody thinks they like something in what I'm doing, if it helps them out, well, take it and use it. Be positive with it, because it'll only work for you, and or you can create it to work against you by your choice. Your choice, not mine. Not mine. I'm only here to help you weave your own web, so that we can, what I believe, that once we see there is a creator, and this web that was weaved only can take this supercomputer to create, then we'll start to wake up and just put things down and say, that's it. Do what you want with me. I know how I got here. I already know how I got here. I had a triple bypass. They pumped me with all kinds of stuff when I started to learn this stuff 20 years ago. Okay. When people want to talk about depression, let me tell you, I can tell you one thing. If you ask that person to change their mind and to get out of it, yeah, it helps if you learn. Coherent breathing is amazing. I went through 2 different kinds or 3 different kinds, right? And most of it was because it was caused by. One was caused by, the other one I caused it by myself. By looking at something, repeating to myself. But anyways, where's my water? Water! How can a bottle this big? I haven't left my chair. The bottle's freaking this big. How does it disappear? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. No, this is not possible. I'm telling you, the bottle was this big. It's a 4 liter. It's a 4-liter. Okay, now I have another bottle here. There's another bottle here, okay? This wasn't it. I drank from the other bottle a lot. Okay, hold on. Kosher water? Kosher? You know what? GG33 says he could. Yeah, I think there is a way to do it if everything was hunky dory and we all had the ability to learn how to equate things on certain days. I've never put any of my thought into that, and I think I probably should. Right? I already know that 33, 34, 43, 17 all go together. 21 goes with that. I was going to mention what number 20 was. All the corners are 20 from each other. Sorry, all opposite corners are 20 from each other. All up, right? You go one all the way here, you get 10, and then you go all the way to the other one and you get 20. But the thing is, the corners are all 21. Yeah, this corner over here is 31. This corner over here is 1, 41, and 81 for Venus. This corner over here is your first 11 is 2 and 9, 11. Would you like to know what it is next? It's 51 and 91 and 131 falls on May 5th, on May 11th. 11 is your 2-9, the one that was sent, the Saint Noir. And the 51 is the holder of your vibration. It's also Mars and your spirit. Look at that, where it ends up in jail. This one over here is 31. It's also 71. Okay, this is where the Vatican, the power in the Vatican gates come in. Happened in January. 88 constellations connecting up to the power of the matter. The 77, the Christ. The trains. This one over here, if I remember correctly, was 36. It's also 76. It's short line because it doesn't connect to the rest of the railways. The area space that over here, every corner has 2, every property has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the trains are sitting at the 7th gate. '76, 66, 1656, 6 or 46. This property over here is the last property you can obtain. It's the Mediterranean. It's the first. It's the first property after go. It's a second area or 42nd area. Where is the gateway? 4 times 2, 4 plus 2. The house of the 9 lives of the cat in the Mediterranean. 2, 3, 4. Abraham would reside in Baltic. So if anybody wants to talk about Abraham and connect the Baltic, let me know. This will be the Cat's Gate. This is going to be the Baltic. You know, GG77 said something about, I don't even want to get into that. I'd like to know where he got his information from. I have to listen to more of his stuff. I have to learn what he's doing. Right? I you know what? He's just like to know what he's doing just to learn how he put that all together. Where are we going with this next? So another thing about 20 is this cube. Although the dots add to 21, it only can be seen on 5. Actually, it only 5 sides can be up that can be seen, right? But yes, somebody said yesterday, can you see all the sides? No, I don't have to. I already know what's on the other side, right? All the sides are 7. I only need to see, really and truthfully, right? I only need to see these two. Once I see the 6, I know the 1 is below. Once I see the 5, I know that opposite side is the 2. I know 3 and 4 are on the other side. So really, I just need to see these two. Well, really, no one sings that song. That's AI. I told it what I wanted it to say, and then the AI put the words together. So yeah, well, first of all, it's not singular. I mean, you have 1 through 9, but when you go to encompass this cube, you'll put a cube here, and then you'll put another cube here, and then one here, and then one here, and then one here, and then one here. It'll take 26 cubes to encompass this cube. So church is 3, 8, 39, 3, 8. That 39 represents the angel 3 and 8 creation of the heavens. Okay, so now what happens is when you look at this cube, and I don't know who's here now, I don't know who's here, but when you look at this cube is not just these dots you see. When you roll them, for anybody who's ever used these cubes before, right, you might play the game and count the dots, but I'm the one who drilled the holes. So when I look at the plans to see where to drill the holes, I want to see how much area space I have. And I was told to draw it the same way as the pound key. The pound key is 9 area spaces. The face of this cube is broken up into 9. Every side of this cube is broken up into 9. If you see the 1, it is going to hold the 8. If you see the 2, it is going to be with the 7. If you see the 3, it is going to be with the 6. If you see the 4, it's going to be with the 5. When you see the 5, it's going to be with the 4. When you see the 6, it's going to be with the 5. Did you hear what I just did? I repeated 3, 4, 5, 6 twice, but I didn't repeat 1 or 2 and 7 and 8. They are singular. 3, 4, 5, and 6, what makes love perfect? Because those are the exact numbers for the word love. And would you like to hear the reverse numerology of the word love? It almost sounds like student. See, love, Olev? It almost sounds like student. What does it mean to accept a co-host? What does that mean? I've never done that before. Mary Vase invites you to co-host. What does that mean? I've never done that. I don't mind doing it, but I don't know if it's the system or not, right? So, okay. So do you see what I said? So Olev also sounds like Elev. Elev means student. So the 3, 6, 4, 5 for love reverts to the same letters. The word reflects itself. Also the word river, basically the same thing. 613 laws of Moses. You know, I was in this video listening to people talk, and I wanted to explain this to them something, and they wouldn't give me the right time of day because I was talking numbers. Yet the Hebrews talk tons of numbers, and yet that's okay. But when I talk numbers from the English language is one of the oldest languages. You know, it's like, I don't want to call it a bastard language. It's a mix of thousands of years just been upgraded, you know, thousands of years of languages upgraded into this language. So they were talking about the Well, they were even talking about do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? They ended with do because they ended at the beginning again. Wow, where was I? I'm losing my head. I'm tired. Okay, I'm just going to write it out. 365 and 248. $365 days, 365 good laws, 248 something laws. Total is 613. 3, 6, and 5, 14. 2, 4, and 8, 14. I'm just trying to see. Okay, this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm just trying to see 2 times 4, 248 binary code. I'm just trying to see if there's anything inside of here. So anyways, 14 and 14, N and N. This is the cycle of our moon. But anyways, this is the basic. The basic of connecting A, B, C would be 1, 3, 6. The same thing as the 300, the 613 laws of Moses. There's a lot of things, but I'm just so tired that I think I'm just going to look over the rest of what's going on over here, because I'm just like overwhelmed. I put out a whole bunch of new stuff. I mean, for my own self. Just want to say one thing. The 29th of this month, okay, is the 119th day. Think about that. When I spoke about 117, yes, this is what I did want to say. So let's get back to this. Let's get back to this. That when you know that every side is 9, and you know Just 1 second. When you know every side is 9. Okay. Okay, I think we got it here. Let me just see if I did this properly. I must have wrote each one of these things out 1,000 times. Yeah, so that was funny. That was funny. 576. 5760 or 4 times 1440, right? 4 days equals to the time of the year 2000. 5760. The next reflection, okay, on the cube is every 15 years. That's how Saturn square works. The half time and the cube ends. Okay, the cube ends because the cycle of the moons invert themselves. In 5,775 years, or 77 times 75, right, is power of the oceans, power of the Christ is what they call it, equals to 75,075 moons. It's going to reflect to time. It's going to reflect to the beast. It's going to reflect to 33. 3 times 3, 9 birth. 3 plus 3, the 6th life, equals to 15. 432 vibration vibrates within. 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3. I'm going to just do this here. Oh, I know where to show it to you. Here. Your 1 and your 6 come together, 7. Your 2 and your 5 come together. Your 3 and your 4 come together. When you want to run the 10 together, you run 1 all the way to the other side, 9. Do you know that 1 and 9 are the same? It's either you're here or you're here to connect. When you connect here over to 5, you connect 9 over to 5. Sagittarius to Leo over to Aries. The combination of what is, okay, the combination of what is Capricorn is, for me, the association of 1, 2, 3, 4. That is your Capricorn. You put the stone right over here, Leo, upon the stone. That's your lower seventh gate. When you connect it to the upper world, you'll be connecting 9 with 4 equals to 13 to what is 1 and 6 equals to 7. You'll be connecting 8 and 5 equals to 13 is a reflective of what 2 and 5 equals to 7. When you connect 3 and 7, 10 is what 3 and 4, there's a gateway, a corridor, the same house. 3 and 4 equals to 7. What is 7 below is 13 above. Right over here in the calculator, same connections. 1 on the left to 6 on the right. What over here is a cardinal to what is a mutable connection to what over here is a mutable connection over to a cardinal sign. 5 difference, 5 difference. 1 and 6 is equivalent to 9 and 4. 9 and 14. 9 and 4, 13, equivalent to what 6 and 1 is 7. So you already know that the Mayan calendar runs by that 7 and 13 as the 7 days a week in the 13 moon cycles. I'm going to show you this when I catch up with the comments. I am doing well, Edwin. I just saw you just now. I got to this. I'm not quite sure if you're still here. Still learning. 88 keys. So if you take 88 and you divide it by 7, you get, you'll end up in the 3rd position. You're in the 3rd position. 88 divided by 7. You see the 5714. Forget about what's on the left side of the decimal, 571428. So when you look at this paper, 571428. See that in the 4th area? That's at the corridor. You notice there's no 3, 6, or 9 in this, right? There's no 3, 6, or 9 in any of this. And if you take a screenshot and look at it, none of these numbers, okay, or all of these numbers, the first 7 on this, the 7 over here, these 7, none of 3, 6, and 9. And if you take a look at them, they're all the same numbers in every single box. And if you add them up, they all equal to 27. And if you add them up, there's only 6 per box. Man, I'm watching some guy in front of me. He's the greatest painter of all time for me, you know. I was always intrigued with his work, his style, you know. And his name is Bob Ross. Yes, so where were we with this? There was this, there was this. I was looking at this. Okay, let me keep going through here. Yes, so that calculation is because the Mayan calendar and the cycle of 7 is based off of 999,999, and that's the Mayan calendar that runs off that pi cycle, right? That same pi cycle running off the same 999,999 is also divisible by 13 and creates a 1, 3, 4, 9, 10, 12 algorithm, which means all these numbers I mentioned will repeat all the same numbers. Again, I'm going to show you in a minute. Yes, 20 years ago I was 41. When this began, when the documentation began on this, I was 41. It was on the 5th day of the 5th month of 2005. Purple, very important. Purple is what purple creates energy for me. Why does purple create energy for me? Because I mix red and blue to create purple. When I get red and blue and I go into the shower, One becomes hot, one becomes cold. The hot and the cold, if you put that in the atmosphere, it creates that what they call the difference in the temperature, the atmospheric pressure. I don't really know. Whatever it is, it's 3443. It's part of the same corridor. Put a little yellow in with that, 92. You know what? They're going to create something, that's for sure. That would be very interesting. That is crazy. Do you know, Kate, that the 33rd day after the death is the 144th day? Or let's say 144,000? Also, if we're going to connect this, let's do this as 111 plus, hold on a second. The Pope died on the 432nd day of the vibration, more or less. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see if I did that calculation right. 111 this year, okay, but not from last year. It's 365 plus 31 plus 21. So that's 52, 417. Yes, that's also another good number. So when he dies under the regulation of 417, which is the house, which is the gateway. Number 41 is the home king, but more or less, in order to just make it really believable, 417, okay, is the way our cycles run. So it's going to be 144 if we waited 33 days after. That is a huge number. Hi, Spicy. How you doing? I don't see what's down at the bottom yet because I'm going through all the comments. Yes, velo love. Zello means yes. Avail, to avail. Yes, okay, so yeah, co-host, but I don't, I think I jumped into that once before and I felt like, I don't know, maybe next time I'll jump into it because we got to expand the group. I have no idea what's going to correct itself, but according to the numbers, I mean, everything is way too perfect. No matter what happens with us, whatever choices we make, this is definitely a built house. And what I've seen over 20 years and what I hear online, it seems like the algorithm is running through everybody, which means I think it's going to happen. That's all I want to say. Well, in fact, I think it's going to happen. It's more like I really need it to happen. But I also know that in order for anything good to happen, we haven't seen anything yet, although I can imagine it. I've already imagined it in my head. No, never heard about that. Never heard about that. Never heard about him being any serial. Yes, purple is huge. 8th day, 8th month, 2018. 8th day, August 8th, 88, constellations. 2018, I have no idea what that means because, yes, 144,000. Okay, so I think we got to the end here. Okay, so that's good. Well, let me see how to I get this page off. Okay. Also, another thing about the 144,000, if you want to look, this cube here has 1,404 basic faces to it. Why? This cube is made up of 26 smaller cubes. 26 cubes, each one with 6 faces. 26 times 6 equals 156. 156 times 9. 1,404. When you connect this, when you connect 192837 10 10 10 10 times 10 times 10 equals 1,000. There are 4 different connections like this. That'll be 4,000, and now we're in the last 2,000 years. 4,000 and 2,000. That's the association. One area is 1/3, the other is 2/3. So let me see what else is in here. Yeah, I'm wasted. I'm extremely tired. Another thing is what I noticed for a couple of times is when you're using this, right? When you count in between one area and the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 10, right? But when you're using the inches, okay, it's showing it to me as 16. So I like to look at that and see the difference. Another thing I'm going to be talking about is the difference between between inches and centimeters, and then trying to match us up against 12, trying to match it up against 13, try to match it up again. Well, I need to match it up against all of them so I can understand their differences so that where they meet. So I'm going to do this last piece. Any one you add, each of them have 6 numbers. If you want, take a snapshot. I forgot to do something. I have to get back. I skipped over something. I'm not happy, but if you want, I'm going to come back to this in a minute. I have to finish with explaining this. There's 9 per side. One, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5, right? But the thing is, there are 6 sides. Every side is a possible of 9. Only 3, 4, 5, and 6 repeat the 6, 5, 4, and 3, meaning the area space void. The word love is up here. These do not repeat twice, only once. It takes 1 and 2 to create 3. 3 is the corridor for 6. This will be the male. This is noted to be the female because the PP and the GG over here are those numeric values. Okay, right over here. So what happens is when we go ahead and we associate seven. So far, so good, right? 7, 7, 7. So when I associate 1 with 6, 6 has a 3 void. See the 6 over here? 1 with 6 has a 3 void. 1 has an 8 void. 3 and 8 equals to 11. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Again, when you go, remember the corridor is 3 and 4, right? When you go to the corridor 3 and 4, look at the voided area. Look at the voided area. 1 and 2 is prior to creation, prior to splitting of the seas. This one over here, okay, when you have 2 cubes, will equal to what is the 88 constellations to the power of 77 in the sky pass, 55 to what is connecting the 66 area space to pass through the 7th gate. And this is through the voided area. These are the dots. So 3 and 8, here's your 8, here's your 3, that's your 11. 4 and 7, here's your 4, there's your 7, that's your 11. 5 and 6, here's your 5, that's your 6. When you see 3 and 4, you see 5 and 6. When you see 4 dots here, there's 5 missing. When you see 3 dots here, there's 6 missing. That is your master number 11. This cube is a master 33. So 156 means, so when you're going to get 156, in Trinity, it's 52. What makes things bigger? What makes things smaller? It represents earth, represents your heart. 156 is for the female, the cube for the female. The last part in this cube is there's a heart, there's a 27th area space. When you add that in, it becomes 162. 2160 is the moon diameter. 2160 is 3 times the tetrahedron. It's a trinity. When you get to the fourth one, I think it becomes 2880, and that's the end of the 72 cycle. The end of the 72 cycle, the house of Bate, 5 times 72 degrees for 360, okay? That ends at 288, but we're into 360. Why? What happened, right? Is it because there was no clock before and now there is? Now, before, was it a 4x4 area space? Now it's a 3x3 area space. I don't know, too tired to continue on that. So now you saw where our master numbers came up from. Now, do you understand where 7 and 11 come from? Did I do that too quick? Each one of these equals to 27. 27 belongs to the house. The algorithm inside for the 13 moons is going to connect Leo, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Libra together, bound together. The 3 and 4, okay, the 3 and 4, which is going to be Cancer and Gemini, is going to be sticking together between Sagittarius and Cancer. The combinations of 1, 3, 4, 9, 10, and 12 all fit together. The combinations of 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11 come together. How do I see this? 615384, 615384, 615384, 615834, 615834. Each one of these will equal to 27 all the way around, 3 times 6, 3 plus 6. And this is why I believe that this house is absolutely a perfect utopia in the 360-degree creation, in which should be a minimum of 540. So we are way, way undersized. Purple vibes only. So anyways, purple vibe 223. It was just 222. Time for bed. What else is there? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, you want to see something really cool? There's 1,440 minutes in a day times 360 degrees, right? Before you add on to the year, the Mayans did this before they added anything on. Do you know what that is? That's the angles of the Giza pyramid. It also represents the division of the sun, Leo, the Capricorn headstone with Aries, and Pluto. The 54 is going to equate to the sun in itself. The 18 is the heart of the heavens, the one in creation. And this big ball here that gets that has the fog that rises off the ground, don't think it of any more than one big giant sun of some sort. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good night, everybody. Capricorn, the strength of Capricorn.